Hi everyone, how you doing today? It's a wonderful day, and I just wanted to bring some awareness to something that's growing a lot culturally: plant medicines. So these things are very misunderstood, and they've been some of the most powerful healing tools in my life. Got separated from the military for treating my depression with them, and it was honestly the best decision I ever made. I hold no ill will against the military for their decision. I broke a rule, and therefore I should have been kicked out for it. However, if more awareness has been brought to this thing that has also been shown to treat treatment resistant depression and a lot of PTSD victims, a lot of clinical depressed victims, be it civilian, military, or otherwise, I just want to bring more awareness to that medicines like psilocybin mushrooms, like ayahuasca, which I have not tried, so I can't speak too much on that, but I am aware of uh, LSD whenever it was very easy to get pure, know what you were getting, and MDMA, they're doing trials with that. That is also providing so much healing. So far as I know, that one has been the most effective in helping treat PTSD. As well as ketamine, I've heard has helped a lot of people quit drug addictions and alcohol. Me, myself, I used to be addicted to pills, and I would dive down rabbit holes for months on end, and that's why I originally joined the military, because I knew I was going to end up in jail or dead. And it gave me a lot of discipline, gave me a decent environment to meet new like-minded people and grow. But the culture also allowed me to become an alcoholic very easily, which was my problem, not theirs. But your environment also influences a lot of what you embody whenever you're around it. You can replace you with I, make the sentence more dynamic. So my environment made me very uncomfortable, very isolated, and made it very easy for me to want to numb all of that without any realization of what the deeper root cause was. The deeper root cause for depression, PTSD, anxiety, all of these major mental struggles, disorders, whatever you would call them, is dis-ease. Not disease as it's medically termed, but dis-ease. If you're not in a state of ease, if you haven't finished the loop of a trauma or an emotion, the emotional charge is very, very, very heavy inside that emotion. So imagine it like this: you go through a traumatic event, like for example, when I was younger, my parents went through a divorce and my mom was out of the picture for a very long time. And recently made up, that's all well and good. But I wouldn't have been able to do that had I not finished that loop and removed the emotional charge from that thought, from that memory. So, all trauma is, in my understanding, I mean, it can be much broader than this, but in my understanding and my personal experience for dissolving my own traumas, there are several more, that was just one example, is it is an event or memory of an event that has a very heavy emotion. Some of these can be joy, like some of the best days of your life. Man, it's wonderful to complete that loop and just experience it over and over. Trauma, on the other hand, is a loop of dissonance and dis-ease. And those loops are very hard to get out of if you don't know how. If I didn't know how, and I didn't for a long time. So, it's like starting a loop. Ah, oh, it's too painful. Ah, it's too painful, go back. Ah, it's too painful, go back. And then after a while, it's just going to keep coming back around in the circle, trying to get me to deal with it. And what psilocybin in general allowed me to do was open up, expand my horizons, expand my consciousness for a period of time while I was under the influence of it. And yes, it is fun, but it is also an incredible medicine and healing tool. That is what it is meant to be. Culturally, it's been abused. I've done abuse of it in several other psychedelic substances. I've also used them in ceremonial type of aspects where they're meant to be used as medicines, plant medicines, which is what they really are, not psychedelic drugs, plant medicines, plant teachers. And what the mushrooms taught me was that loop, I wasn't finishing it. So the only way out was through. And it allowed me to look at that memory from an unbiased point of view. It's kind of like stepping back from the memory, while the memory's right here, and watching it play out and just observing and seeing, why does this hurt so much? Why is this causing me so much dissonance? Why is this causing me so much dis-ease? Why is this so deeply rooted in my subconscious that I'm developing mystery illnesses, that I'm anxious, depressed, that pretty much everything's starting to fall out of balance? And the answer is so complex I can't really answer it. But these plant teachers, these medicines, as have been used culturally for thousands of years, showed me how to look at my trauma, remove the emotional charge, and finish the loop. And there's still an emotional charge there. I mean, it's not always pleasant, but it's not crippling or traumatic anymore. Emotions are very complex thought forms, very, very complex. Imagine one word. If it were an emotion, it would take like thousands of words to describe it. We already do that. Very complex thought forms. And it's a lot of information to try to process when the body, mind, and spirit aren't aligned to process that. So you gotta bring yourself into alignment, which these plant medicines help to do, as well as after the experience. The most important part is to, I'm getting better at this, but journal the experience, think back on it, meditate on it, and integrate it. So these plant experiences can be beautiful, transcendent, but even though we're beings of spirit, in my understanding, we are currently incarnated in a 3D world of gross physical reality. So I've seen and heard cases where some people, very rarely, will get ungrounded, go up into space, and just lose their center, as it were. And I've been in temporary states like that too. They're terrifying. So if I could make any recommendation for anyone who watches this who wants to find a shaman, licensed practitioner, or licensed and professional legal medicine worker, the advice I would give you is center yourself in your heart center, whether you believe in that sort of stuff or not. Center yourself. Don't resist, and don't cling to either. Just experience and be in that moment. And then when the moment of the experience is past, integrate your experience so that you can use it to harmonize your life. It has changed my life for the better. I am 25 years old, and I never imagined my life would be as harmonious and blissful and full of love and joy as it is. And I'm not doing anything incredible. I live in a basement for $400 a month. I'm drive for Uber. But I'm happier than I've ever been in my life because I've found my center by finishing trauma loops. And then whenever new traumas, or not even traumas, whenever new heavy events happen, I process them before they turn into trauma, before they deep root in the subconscious. So to sum this up, plant medicines are great teachers to help, how would I say this? To help consciously undo trauma and plant positive seeds in the subconscious. Well, this has been a pleasure and an honor of mine. May you all walk with infinite love, light, grace, and freedom and expression. I love you all, and namaste.